Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
I'm D.
And we're coming to you today about everything entertainment.
Okay, we're
like
singing
the
it now.
Simpsons.
Entertainment.
There you go.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Oh, we don't want to have any copyright
We do
issues.
not own
The rights to that
that
music.
song.
Yep, exactly.
Yes.
So, so sis, what do you have for us today to start?
So I have one thing that I think is pretty awesome.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon,
Jimmy Fallon, know him.
he got shoes dropping.
Oh, I did see that.
Yes.
I
All right.
did see
So Jimmy Fallon on Thursday, July the 28th.
that. Okay.
At 1 p.m. He said. At
okay.
1 p.m. He made sure he made it clear.
1 p.m. Because he wants them to sell out immediately.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes. He has shoes dropping. So he said, if I make a shoe, it has to be something different and it has to change the game.
Okay.
So he has what's the MSCHF Gobstomper.
I saw it. Yep.
And it's MSCHF is MSCHF.
It's like, is it his brand or is it already
I think it's
a brand?
another brand.
Okay.
I think it might be another brand. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look into that. But
But it could be like a Nike or whatever.
yeah.
Like
It's
some kind of brand. Okay,
But
gotcha.
the shoes kind of look like I wouldn't rock them, but I would rock them. If you understand what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't walk by and be like, oh, let me get these white shoes. No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then the soles and everything are thick. But I would rock them because of what they do. So here's what they do. So the whole thing about them is that you're supposed to wear them down.
Yep.
And the more that you wear them down, the more different layers peel off. And it's like a gobstopper.
And the colors.
And the colors come out. So he's saying that all shoes are going to be different and unique. You're never going to
have the same one, the same
yeah,
type.
yeah. So you might have your left shoe and your right shoe looking two totally different shoes, but it's the same shoe.
That's the appeal of the shoe.
Yeah, and I
Right.
I was like, why did nobody else think of this before?
I know. It's kind of a brilliant idea when you think about
smart,
it.
so
yeah,
smart.
it's pretty brilliant.
But like, so when you first get the shoes, they're all white, and you can see like on the sole where the sole and the leather starts to connect.
Okay.
You can see where it's like the thickness of it and where the color is. But then you probably don't pay no attention to it. You know,
No.
it kind of looks like a Balenciaga shoe or like it was named McQueen, Alexander McQueen, look big and bulky. But then you're wearing them down so you can have these shoes forever.
Yeah. I mean, but can you have them forever? How far do they wear down till they just stop?
I don't know.
You know, and what makes it wear down? Like, so if I just
scuffs,
go,
like scuffs.
so if I just walk from here, like walk around the mall, then I'm gonna have different color shoes when I go in the mall.
Probably
than when
if you
I leave
scuff
the
them,
mall.
because he's like they're made for you to mess them up. Like you can like ride your bike and then stop on your toes with your feet. You know, stop on your toes, and then like now you got red, yellow, orange.
Gotcha. Yeah. It'd be sad though if you got some really cool colors and you love them and
I know,
you want
right?
to keep them
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
you
and
can't
then
do-
as soon as you walk more,
You're gonna have to frame them once you
it's
get them.
an awesome idea when you think about it, and like you
idea.
said, makes you wonder why somebody didn't think of it before.
Yeah, I would have figured that some kind of designer would have been like, yes, we're going to do this, and everybody's going to love them. But now I'm pretty sure it was going to end up happening. It's going to be so many more different kinds of shoes coming out where it's just like, oh, like peel away.
Patent for it.
Yeah, but I mean, unless they have
then
it
he
like
gets paid for it.
Yeah, that's true. Like peel away heels or something like that. Like, Velcro stick it on, you know.
It's like red bottoms that everybody has, but they don't really like to wear because they get scraped up. But then let's say it becomes red to pink to green to yellow bottoms.
Yeah. Look at that. You're a genius right there.
There you go. That's the shoes I got to come up with.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to get... Who makes red bottoms? Is it Louboutin?
Yes.
Louboutin.
Louboutin.
Yeah,
Christian.
because it's Louis Vuitton and Christian Louboutin.
Right. They're two different people.
But no, I just thought that was really cool that he has that, and then he was talking about it on his show, and like he showed it for the first time on his show, which is smart. That's who needs a commercial when you have your own TV show?
Right, exactly. And it's just like him when he does his, he will bring up a topic and then he'll say, all right, everybody start tweeting about this topic of what it is that you all, have in this scenario. So like the worst thing my mother ever said to me was, and y'all tweet, and then it becomes the number one tweet in the country because he talked about it on the show.
I've always said that he was funny. I've always liked
Everybody
him.
doesn't like Jimmy.
Why everybody like Jimmy?
Fallon.
Yeah,
probably
Jimmy
everybody
Fallon.
doesn't like Kimmel either, but
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, who we're
Well,
talking
I wonder
about right
why.
now. So
Is he not?
I don't know. I think some people think he's a little corny. I think some people think that
He's definitely
he laughs
corny, but
at his own jokes.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And then there was a big political thing that everybody didn't really like.
I didn't
So
even know
yeah,
anything about that. I don't even get into the politics stuff.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying, there's different things that make people like or not like different
that's
famous
true.
people.
That's
and so,
true.
but I mean, I personally don't mind him. Of all the late night hosts,
he
I
makes
watched
it fun.
Jimmy Kimmel. I watched Jimmy Fallon before I watched Jimmy Kimmel.
He makes
or
it fun.
James Corden. Yeah.
And
he's got the roots.
Yeah, you have your house band is the Roots. You have a Grammy nominated or Grammy award winning band.
Yeah, and you have a Oscar award winning drummer. Who won for his documentary.
That's what I'm saying. And then also, what's so crazy is that I don't know how much people know about the Roots and Jimmy Fallon. They had a mixtape together, and they used to call Jimmy J. Period.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
So yeah, and then he'd come on there and he'd be like, "Yeah, this is the smooth sounds with J. Period and Black Thought." And he goes through everybody, Tracy Chapman. You know what I'm saying? So like he goes through all that, but it's just so funny because like you would never think about it.
Yeah.
You would never be like, oh, you know what? Two people that always hang around with each other, the Roots
and Jimmy
Fallon. You would never think that.
No. And then when he came on their show, I think people were like, why would they be his house band? Like, that's weird. Why would they even agree to it?
But
also, why would he ask them, but not knowing that there was so much of a relationship?
Friends. They're actually friends.
Behind the scenes,
But I would say that...
and it gives you stability too as a band to not have to be on the road. You can choose when you want to be on the road. Yeah, that's what they do.
I think they now all they do is choose to just be on the road.
Because you're getting paid every week.
They were at Essence Fest.
Yeah, they were there. I saw them. They were amazing. Amazing.
But I would say that Jimmy Fallon is a genius because all the games and stuff that he makes up.
Yeah. And makes them into TV shows.
Makes them into TV shows. Yeah. How do you? I've never seen anybody have one TV show that comes on late night. Mm-hmm. That has had other shows come off of that show.
Yeah. The only thing close is probably James Corden with Carpool Karaoke.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
Did kind of become YouTube then show.
But I would say they changed the game.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. He could arguably be one of the most successful. Well, I'm sure he's one of the most successful people to come from Saturday Night Live. I can't say he is the most successful.
I don't know because Tina Fey is pretty successful too.
Yeah, I mean, you got Tina Fey, you got Amy Poehler, you have Adam Sandler, you have Eddie
I just
Murphy.
feel like if you're on SNL and then you leave and you don't do anything with your life, that was on you, homie. Because Lauren set everything up for you.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm putting you on TV.
He got you into everybody's homes, and a lot of people, by the time they leave, their household names like Kate McKinnon and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, it could be you have a bad PR person.
Yeah, maybe it's
your media relations
stop
person,
hiring your cousin to be your PR person.
Maybe. Management, you never know. But okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm interested to see if people start putting on Instagram or whatever, like how their shoes are wearing down, because it's not like I'm ever going to buy a pair.
I would probably buy a pair. I'm going to look and see how much they are. They're probably going to be expensive.
I thought he was saying, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't think he said that they were going to be super... I can't remember how expensive they were going to be because I feel like
not super expensive when you're talking about a celebrity. Because a celebrity, $500 might not be super expensive.
No, but I feel like Jimmy's thought process was making them affordable for people because you don't want to be elitist either. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think it's more like they're going to drop, this is the price. I didn't think they were astronomical, like, 3 times the price of, Jordans or anything like that. But at the same time, I know it was going to be a limited supply, so if you got them, you were going to be special. But it's not like you had to spend a ton of money.
I feel like that's what celebrities do now. It's like they have to get with some kind of brand, some kind of name brand or something like that, and then they make something for a limited time so they can jack the price, make all this money, and then they'll go to like another company or whatever. But I mean, I think it's smart. It's awesome. I mean. Oh, each pair will cost $195.
Oh, it's expensive, but it's not. I was thinking it could have been $300. It could have been $500. I
don't spend more than $100 on shoes. Yeah. And then when I'm like spending if I'm spending like $95 on shoes, I'm like, these things better last me until the zombie apocalypse.
And the hard part about this is you're buying shoes that will wear down.
Yeah.
And are they going to wear down evenly?
I know. That's true. Is it going to wear down evenly?
Because people walk different ways. You have supination, a pronation, or whatever they call it, like walking on the outside of your shoes, walking on the inside of your shoes.
You have to
Some
break it down
people walk
to me,
and they actually like flip their toe part, and therefore it wears down the toe of their shoe.
Yeah, because some people, like, if you see a lot of people with Timberlands, they always have the back of their heel, the whole back of their heel is like it's like a shoehorn, how it goes up. Because when you walk, the style that you're supposed to wear your Timberlands is not to tie them up. So every time you take a step, your foot's just your boot scraping. Yeah, your boot scooting and boogieing. And like it's seriously just like
no, it makes sense.
The back. So
So it depends on. I mean, how many people might have knee and hip issues because it didn't wear exactly the way that they thought it would. But I'm sure that they did some kind of tests, and you would have to do something to make sure that the shoes are not going to cause issues for people because of how they wear down.
Maybe you can go to a cobbler, and the cobbler would just be like, "Let me just drill, just sand this down
and give you some other color." Yeah. And then in the next 3 months, come back and I'll sand it down again.
Hey, cobblers, if you're listening,
maybe it's a money
do
making
that.
opportunity.
That can get some money for you. Go get you a little Black and Decker drill, and some sandpaper, and just make that extra money.
OMG. All righty.
So what do you have?
So I was listening to something, and they were talking about 2022 dating terminology. So I thought this would be fun to have a quiz, a little pop quiz with you and any listeners to try to figure out what the terminology could be for 2022 as people are dating. So first thing, benching. What do you think benching is in a dating environment?
While you're talking to someone you're kind of feeling, you put that other person to the side so that you can go to them if you need them. Like a backup?
That's kind of it. It says, just like when you get benched in basketball, benching refers to keeping someone on the sidelines. And as an option.
It's like a back burner.
Yeah, but it's not saying that it's while you're dating somebody else. It's just kind of like, hey, I don't really want to commit to you, so I kind of have you on the bench.
So I'm stringing you along.
That can be, yeah. So I don't feel strongly enough to be with you. Don't want to make anything official, but And by the way, horrible. I forgot to mention that I got this from Elite Daily. So that's kind of where I went to go get this terminology. So shout out to them. So breadcrumbing. Any thoughts on what breadcrumbing is?
I'm thinking Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you do little things to make the person come back to you.
Well, it is leading someone. So you're leading someone with the breadcrumbs, like they did with Hansel and Gretel.
Why is it 2022? It's all about I'm just gonna do whatever makes me happy, and I don't care about the other person's feelings.
I know it's very selfish and not selfless. Yeah. But anyway, so it's leading someone on, more specifically, just enough contact, dropping just enough information about yourself to keep the person interested, so that they seem like they're interested, but they're really not.
This is why I'm not dating this year.
Is that what it is? Okay, gotcha. So it's a little flirtatious, and then a little distant, and then a little this, and then kind of go, so it's just...
It's narcissism, right?
I think it is stringing people along, as you said. I mean, a lot of this stuff is kind of the same themes, but just done in different ways. Right. Okay. Cuffing.
Oh, that's mine. That's me.
What does that mean?
That's my boo. Cuffing. That's I like that. Like, yo, you ain't going nowhere. You with me now.
Cuffing, it's interesting because it's considered to be a season. So cuffing is known as the idea of when you're being handcuffed or tied down to one partner, typically during the winter and cooler months, because you don't want to be out and about and trying to find somebody. So
no, it's not even that, because what the whole thing is, when it's summertime, you out in the streets.
Yeah, exactly. So
the wintertime is, you know what, I want to just snuggle up.
Yep, exactly. I want to eat comfort food and snuggle up, Netflix and chill, and this is the person I want to be cuffed
and then when
to
spring
during
comes,
that time. Then you break up.
Then we're gonna break up, and I'm gonna start working on my summertime body, so I can go ahead.
It's not a long
I can go ahead and start working on my benches and my breadcrumbing. I got it.
Yep. So it is not a long-term relationship. All right. We have eclipsing.
Ghosting. Like cutting them off.
No, ghosting is different. So eclipsing, a lot of people are guilty of this to an extent. Okay. But eclipsing is when someone changes their overall interest and even personality traits and adopts those of their crush. So it's almost like, oh, you like to hike? I love to hike. Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll orbit around
being a
you.
representative.
I will just do whatever you want to do. You want me to cook? Absolutely. You love a woman who cooks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eclipse you with all of these things that you want, even though it's not the true, authentic self of the person. Yeah. So it could be new sports. It could be immersing themselves into whatever scene that person is in. All of those things, eclipsing. Freckling.
I don't know, but it sounds sexual. I don't want to talk about it.
It's not.
I don't want to go there.
Well, you think of people who have freckles, right? Freckling is almost the opposite of, cuffing. So freckling is like November to March, you don't have really any freckles. Your freckles disappear kind of during the colder months. So freckling is when, it is when the sun appears, the freckles appear. So that's when the person appears. So these are the people who in the summer months want to date somebody because they're like, oh, I want to go hiking. I want to go swimming. I want to go to a wine festival.
Summer things.
In the summer festival.
In the wintertime, they want to be left alone.
Exactly. So these are the people who are like, when the freckles start coming out is when they want to get out and start doing more things with a boo. So therefore, they're trying to find somebody as a summertime fling that they want to spend that time with. Gaslighting. That's a big one.
That's everybody gaslights as far as I know a lot of people who gaslight.
Yeah, but see the difference is, and this is funny because
this is just relationships.
Well, this is what gaslighting in general, it's all over the place. But what they were saying is that a lot of times with gaslighting, people don't realize that it is a very it's being misused in the terminology, but it's very toxic, basically. So what it is,
absolutely.
I mean, it's toxic for sure, but I think people are using it to just say, "Oh, you were gaslighting. Yeah, it was gaslighting. You lied to me. You're gaslighting me." And it's
that's not.
It's a whole other layer of stuff. So basically, the term itself comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight, where the protagonist, her husband, gaslights her by turning down the lights in their home so that way they would flicker. And then when she would ask him about it, he would just deny it and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, they're not down. They're not flickering. And so the intention was to make her believe that it was all inside her head and she was going crazy. Yep. So therefore, that's what it is. It's a form of manipulation. It often occurs in abusive relationships, and it's got a psychological impact on the person that it's happening to. And so it's really a level of emotional abuse, for lack of a better way of saying it.
It is emotional abuse.
Well,
right?
it is, but there's multiple levels and ways in which people can be abused.
Abuse is abuse. It shouldn't be levels.
I guess I shouldn't say levels. I guess I should say it's a different form of abuse because you have gaslighting as abuse, physical abuse, and gaslighting is a form of mental abuse. So that's where I guess it's going from. So okay, and then ghosting. I think we all know ghosting. It's just
you just stop talking to
like a ghost. They disappear out your life.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done that a couple of times.
That's terrible.
And then I'll see him out and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I just been really busy.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie. But I think what it is it's basically, essentially it says when someone stops communicating with you out of the blue, they give you no explanation. And the way they say it is, it's just kind of like a cop-out in a way. It's like you didn't want to have the tough conversation with somebody. You didn't want to let them know you're not feeling them anymore. You didn't want to have that kind of quote-unquote adult conversation. So therefore you just slowly disappear, which is very different than another terminology that we have on here too.
Yeah, but say because I'll slowly you text me today and I'll text you back in a couple of days and she'll be like, yeah, my
right. And I'll probably go over some of these because I don't want to take the whole time to talk about them on this episode, but I'm going to go over some more because there's about 20 of them. So I mean, these are pretty interesting. 2 more I'll talk about. Groundhogging.
Why do these things sound sexual?
That's your mind.
Well, the groundhogging doesn't sound sexual.
That's because you're not dating this year. That's your mind.
It sounds like something from off of like OnlyFans.
No, okay, listen to what it is. Groundhogging. Think about it like the movie. You're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So who are you dating? The type, quote unquote, of people that you're dating over and over and over again. And they're obviously not good for you. You keep dating bad boys. Guess what? you keep having the same result with a bad boy.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep dating, somebody who doesn't really meet kind of the expectations of what you set for yourself. So therefore, you keep having the same result. And it's not saying to lower your expectations,
but just
to be
find
with
somebody
someone,
else.
but just try something different, and a different way of a person engaging or interacting or whatever.
Don't go to the same places looking for different people, because everybody, like if you go to the watering hole, everybody's looking for water.
Exactly. So that's kind of what groundhogging is. It's just doing the same thing over and over again and dating the same type of people. And haunting.
Oh, that seems like they just bugaboo. They just nagging you and just won't leave you alone. They just show up places. I was in the neighborhood.
Sort of, but it's more social based, social media based.
Social media based,
and not
liking
physical.
all of your pictures,
Exactly.
sliding in your DMs.
So it is keeping tabs on your ex via social media. So you are not seeing them in real life. You don't engage with them in real life, but instead, what you're doing is you're liking their posts. You're commenting from time to time, and you are virtually stalking them, for a lack of a better way of saying it, through their social media. So if it's happening to you, it's a true violation of boundaries. So therefore, you can always just block, delete, unfriend, whatever the case may be. It's okay to do that. People shouldn't feel uncomfortable with doing that. But okay, I have two more I have to talk about this time, because these next two are amazing. Kitten fishing.
Wait, let me think about it. Kitten fishing.
So if you think of, everybody knows catfishing, so that wasn't even on the list. But what would you think kitten fishing is?
I don't know. I was thinking like younger people, but I don't know.
It's a smaller version of catfishing. So it's almost like how people lie on their resume or they lie on their dating profile. So you're not being like totally off base by like putting a picture up that's from 30 years ago when you're 50, but instead you might be putting a picture up that's from 5 years ago where you looked a little better, or you were skinnier before COVID.
I know so many people who kitten fish. Good Lord. And then you see them and you're just like, wait, that's you?
Yep. Or you might say 6 feet, but you're really 5'11".
Yeah.
You're just like doing white little eyes to just get in there, and to have people think that you are. Or you might take a few years off your age, just little things.
I would say with that, what is it called again?
Kitten fishing?
Kitten fishing. I would say that Facetune and all those
all those filters,
those filter apps.
Yeah, they've changed the game for the worst.
They have not changed the game. They have literally made it horrible.
It's impossible. But you know what? And when you think about it, it's that, and it's all the makeup tutorials, because you'll see some people with the makeup on, they look totally different without it, and it's crazy.
What was it that they said on Fridays? You said you look like Janet Jackson. You pull up looking like Freddie Jackson.
So I mean, makeup can do wonders, filters can do wonders, and it's just changed the game completely. So, all right. And last one, love bombing. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, because it happened to me one time. So love bombing.
Somebody who puts you on a pedestal and that's just always wants to be around you, has to touch you. Just
no, not that much. Love bombing describes a manipulation tactic where the abuser or manipulator will shower their partner with over-the-top displays of affection, admiration, and attention in an attempt to sweep them off their feet. So they'll lavish them with gifts.
I ain't never had that.
Take them on different trips. And do you
Maybe I have.
You've been love bombed.
I never paid attention to that. Yeah. Probably because I was trying to get away.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing, because it's almost like you're not interested in the love bomber.
Yeah, that you don't even pay attention to.
You're just like, nah, not interested. No, we don't have to do that.
Thanks, I'm good. You have the receipt, you can take
they're just bombing you with more attention, more affection, everything. And it just becomes more intrusive and abusive feeling to a degree.
Yeah, that has to be some kind of
And abuse. It's really confusing, because at some point down the line, if you allow the love bomber to make you fall in love with them, then they change.
Yeah, and then they're going to stop.
I've won you, so now I'm going to go try to love bomb somebody else while I'm cheating on you, kind of thing. Yeah, so it's like they just are constant love bombers. And I had that happen to me one time. I wasn't interested in this person, just happened to bump into him on the street downtown. And they were like, hey, let me get your number. Let me take you out, whatever. And I was like, I'm not interested. But they were like, well, let me at least walk you to your building. So they walked me to my building.
I've been like, nah, bro, I'm good.
I mean, literally the buildings were almost beside each other. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then I go inside. Literally a few hours later, edible arrangements showed up. Like, didn't know what floor I was in the building, didn't know anything. It was edible arrangements showed up inside the building. And I was like, okay. Then it was like I had to call then because it had the name with the phone number of, in case you want to thank me. So then I, being nice, lady, I called and thanked.
Please tell me you called from your work number.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'm crazy. So I called from the work number.
Because you got an extension, right? Because then that way they can call in, but they can't get to you unless they got your extension.
Well, yeah, but ended up what happened is that it was one of those things that was just very manipulative, so to speak. So then it did become, well, all right, can't we meet for lunch one day downtown?
That person sounds like they beat their women.
I don't know. But anyway, so then it became, let me take you out to one of the most expensive restaurants in Richmond. Oh, let's go over to the Melting Pot and do the fondue. Oh, let's go over here. Oh, I rented you a Mercedes for the week because you had mentioned that you like this type of car. So let me tell you something.
Whoever this person is,
crazy.
This person did not know you at all because it's the opposite. You are the exact opposite. Because it was like, no, you're just like, I don't want this. You can take that back. Yeah.
It was exactly. It's like you rented me a Mercedes. He's like showing me paperwork.
The rental paperwork.
Of a rental of a Mercedes, and he was like, "Here's the key right here. I can take you to it so that you can drive it around for the week." You said you like this particular,
and then you make him mad. You piss him off, and then he's calling the cops and saying somebody stole my Mercedes that I rented.
I wasn't ever going to experience it because I was like, "No, get your money back. I'm not driving some Mercedes that you rented."
You should have been smart and just be like, "Ooh, wait, go drive it around, drive to the beach, take pictures, and then come back and sell them to me."
I wasn't.
That would have been wild.
It felt extremely strange to me, to the point that I was like, hell to the no. No. I'm not going into anything like this. No, this does not feel comfortable. It does not feel right. It feels extremely overwhelming, and I'm not interested. So
you were independent.
I had to say that a bunch of times. Yeah. And it wasn't even like dating. We never held hands, nothing. Like, it was just a weird scenario.
Hey, gentlemen, if you're listening right now, I just want to let you know, seek therapy.
So anyway, don't do those kind of things. But I think the thing is that a lot of men have come to a realization that a lot of women are materialistic.
Yeah, that's true.
So therefore they feel like, oh, I need to do this in order for women to feel as though I am going to be important to them.
Buying your love.
Buying your love and affection and attention. And if I do that, if I'm not the cutest
still
guy
around,
on the block,
I kind of look like you.
I'm
just saying.
Oh, you want the Mercedes?
Let me drive the Mercedes for the weekend.
Yes. I think different people kitten fish from what they, how they're representative from the beginning. I would say I
can go to like 3. What is the other thing that you were saying when you stalk the person on social media?
Haunting.
Yeah, I could do that if I wanted to 4 people who I've already dated and look at their pictures and know what they look like right now and just be like, do you think this is that same person?
Do you think it's the same person? Yeah.
Because it's not.
Groundhogging, no, because I usually try to learn from relationships and really analyze them. Yeah. That's the psychology major in me. Yeah. Ghosting, I haven't ghosted and I haven't been ghosted that I can recall. But I'm a long-term relationship kind of girl.
Yeah. So, you're not a dater.
No, you're just 7 years is the smallest relationship I've kind of had. That was truly a relationship and not just going out.
You've been through like 4 marriages already. That's what it feels like.
Gaslighting. I wish they would.
But then you know what? You know what? I will tell you this. From your sister's standpoint.
Does this need to be on the podcast?
When you date these men for so long and we get to know them and we like them, they're coming part of the family.
True that.
And then it's just like, but they're gone? Okay, yeah.
Like a ghost in the night.
But then I'll just be like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I still see it. No, because
but the thing is
you still see them and they still be chill.
It's still fine. Yeah, it's still fine. I have never had a breakup where initially it's like, I hate them, they hate me, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that. That's good. It's all good people. And everybody I've ever dated has been a great person. They just weren't the right person for me, Or maybe I wasn't the right person for them.
Have you ever tried to like get one of your exes, like have you ever tried to introduce them to somebody who you think that it would have worked out with? I've done that multiple times.
No, I haven't. I probably just feel like it wouldn't be appropriate for me. Like my personality. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to try to do that no. And then, I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
You're not Cupid. I got it.
Yeah, no. But if there was a situation in which that were to happen, I don't know. I've tried to put people together, but not necessarily with somebody that I've previously dated. Okay. I think that just feels a little weird for me.
Oh, that's not a problem for me. Because I just be like, yo, take that one and go far away. Y'all should move. You know what? I heard Alaska's nice this time of year.
That's just getting rid of problems.
And it becomes someone else's. No,
oh my gosh. Anyway, your turn. What you got, sis?
All right. So I got this show that I watched the whole season in like 2 days.
Okay.
And this was like after work watching the show. Couldn't like stop watching it.
Okay.
It's kind of cute. It's cute, but then it's also annoying. So it's called Snowflake Mountain.
Okay.
It is on Netflix.
Never heard of it.
All right. So what it is like, it is... All right, so everyone who's there is between the ages of 19 and, let's say, 27.
Okay.
Now, with all these people, they are snowflakes. And the definition of snowflake, this is how the show starts off. It gives you the definition.
Okay.
A young person who is
conversation about that.
A young person who is considered overly emotional, easily offended, and dramatic.
Okay. Got it.
And when you see this show, you'll like it because it's a hot mess, and you like hot mess shows.
I do like hot mess shows. I don't like hot mess in my life.
But I mean, you'll like it, but then towards the end, you'll be like, "Oh, that's sweet," but now I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then they start to like become like actual human beings and not being a snowflake anymore. So. But yeah. So what it is there is these two guys. They're ex-military. Their names are Matt and Joel.
Okay.
Now what they do is they are kind of like. Was it Scared Straight? That they used to do, like Maury used to do, or something like that. But this is like snowflaking, like getting the snowflakes to realize their potential, so they can go ahead and like pick up a dish and wash it, or
oh my gosh,
like call to like do something yourself, call for your doctor's appointment and not get your mom to do it, like something like that. So it's Matt and Joel, ex-military. They are just like They actually kind of look like just like one guy the whole time he has dip in his mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's so funny. You never see him spit, but then you see like his bottom lip is just sticking out there. He's like, well, sometimes you gotta do this. It sounds kind of like.
Yep.
So who we have is Carl. Carl is from I think he's from LA. He's in his 20s. You have Olivia. And when they show Olivia, which is so funny, they show Olivia with her parents for the initial interview of her signing up for this show, or her parents signing her up for the show. And her mom's just like, I think you're just going to quit the first day.
Oh, really? Like, no faith?
Yeah. And the daughter was like, oh, yeah. No, if it's something that, like, I don't like at all, I'm quitting. She's like, I'm not even going to try. Right? And then the father's just sitting there like, he doesn't even say anything. He's just kind of sitting there like, what did I get myself into?
Oh, my goodness.
Then you have Randy. Randy he's a really nice kid, really young, and I think it's his parents just spoiled him too much.
That can happen.
He never had to do anything at all. I don't think he said he's ever had a job. And he is.
How old
Randy
is he?
I think he's 25.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You have Ray. Ray's from the UK.
Oh. I love the Brits.
Yeah. Ray is 25. And she is like the one who just seems down to earth. She's just chill.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want to do it, but I will. But I mean, it's like she's the only one who actually. I was wondering. I was like, wait, did they just kind of like stick her in there to like be part of the show, and she's not really as bad as everybody else.
Much of a snowflake.
Yeah. Deandra.
Deandra.
But her just D-E, not D apostrophe.
Okay. And Deandra.
Yeah. She is from New York.
And so what's up with Solomon?
Okay, so first of all, when he does his introduction, he's like, my name is Solomon. Nice, attractive guy, like brown skin, blue contacts.
Ugh.
And blue fingernail polish.
Okay.
And he's like, this is royal blue because I feel like royalty.
No.
Someone needs to smack him. Also, he's definitely a narcissist.
Oh boy.
His mom does everything for him. She like, I think the only thing that he does for himself is probably like wash his butt.
So she does everything, and therefore he feels entitled.
Everything. She does. When I say everything, like, Mom, can you make me a sandwich?
Yeah.
You're 26.
Yeah.
Right?
Get up. Nothing's broken.
Yeah, get up and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Make your sandwich.
We also have Liam from the UK.
Okay. Nice.
He is the cutest little thing. Like, I just want to, like, he just looks like a little cuddle buddy. Like, he just looks so sweet.
Liam.
And then he's like twerking the whole time. He's so funny. He is so flamboyant. I love him.
Okay.
And you know who his best friend is?
Who?
Deandra.
Of course.
Yeah, because
they just be in real life.
Yeah. Then you have Daria. Daria is really quiet. She's soft spoken. Like, she really doesn't have a lot of spots, like parts where they come and like talk to her single one-on-one. But like, she's afraid of heights, and she's willing to try stuff, but she's still like, she goes into it. I can't do this. 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 And then the whole time she doubts herself.
Okay.
You have Devin, Devin is 19, and she cries about everything. Her feelings get hurt about everything. It's like, Devin, like, I understand that you're vegan and that you can't do this, but like, we made a vegan meal for you tonight. Yeah. Hey, you want to help us wash the dishes? Oh, I washed my bowl. All right, but we understand that, but we're doing this together. She was like, well, I'm not eating meat with y'all. And it was like, okay, we understand that, but we're talking about the vegan meals. You can lend a hand. She's like, I'm being attacked. She's like, Solomon, I'm being attacked. Oh, she's like stomping off and everything.
I couldn't.
And then you have sweet Sonny. Sonny is, I think he's Middle Eastern. He's tall. He kind of looks like a model. Only thing I don't like about Sonny is his glasses. He has like old school aviator glasses. Like, looks like he went to prison and got his prescription filled. But they're thick. So like, him without the glasses on,
fine. But
he is a model.
Yeah, but
he puts the glasses on and it makes his eyes look like little teeny pins, and so that's
It's almost like the thick glasses that they got from Office Space.
Yeah,
with the stapler.
Exactly,
okay,
exactly.
Gotcha.
So it's like that, but and then he's spoiled by his mom.
Okay.
Like, so basically, what it is everyone is spoiled by one or both of their parents.
Okay.
Okay.
Parents do not realize what they do to their kids.
They don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to mom and dad.
Yeah.
But
being good parents, by the way.
Yeah. But like, I've noticed that what is it? 1, 2. I think it's like 4 of them. 4 of the people who are on the show, one of their parents is not there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking, I was like, is it because that one parent is there? Their mother does more for that child because they feel like that child is missing out, or their father does more for that child. There's one girl who comes and she is like, she's basically just like, Daddy, I want a Porsche. And he's just like, all right, pick it out and just let me know and I'll go ahead and get it for you.
Must be nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the heck? But yeah, everybody's just like, 19 to like 27. I would say this. The stuff that they have to do, they have to skin a deer. They have to learn how to start a fire on their own. The people give them food. They don't have to forage for food or anything.
Okay.
The people give them food, but they put it on some wood in the middle of the lake, and you have to swim to it, and it's freezing cold.
Oh, you know
what I'm saying? Something like that. So there's nothing that they have to do to make it seem super crazy. Now, what I will tell you is there's this one lady who comes on the show, and she is the boss. Her name is Kat.
Okay.
She is a wilderness survivor educator.
Oh, okay.
She said from the age of 12, she's lived in, I can't remember or pronounce the name of the mountains that she's lived in. She was just like, I just knew at 12 years old, when I was out in the mountains, if I needed wood, I had to do this. But I think she might be Native American, and I know that is part of some of Native American some of how they are raised. Yeah. Once you hit a certain age, you have to go out and be able to learn how to provide on your own
for yourself.
Yeah. So and then that way, when you'll be good for the community and be able to take care of yourself.
Okay.
But she's just like, you think you can't do it? Well, you're gonna do it.
Well, this is not an option.
Yeah, at all. So yeah, she's really cool. But I will say this: being raised on a farm in beautiful downtown Ballsville, Virginia, okay, like Dad says. I will say that I think I would be able to do the show with no problem.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a problem skinning a deer.
No.
I wouldn't have a problem I would have a problem with trying to swim out to on a cold lake to something in the middle of it.
Swim.
Yeah, I don't swim. I could float though, but I swim like a rock. But I mean, I feel like being raised in the country, on a farm, definitely makes you humble and teaches you a lot of lessons that like, you know, the zombie apocalypse hits, we good.
Yeah.
We eating.
Yeah. We got to catch some things, but then we can eat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's, you know, it's little squirrels and stuff around here. I got you. We can make a squirrel stew.
Squirrel, rabbit,
chipmunk if we need to.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah. But no, check it out. I like it. Snowflake Mountain. It is entertaining. It's a hot mess. If you want to see adults cry and pout and then finally get their ish together, this would be the show for you.
Okay, and what was it called again?
Snowflake Mountain.
Snowflake Mountain, and what is it on? Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I didn't say this. Let me just tell you this. So one thing that happens is that they tell them, so like the girl Deandra, she's like, all right, so what am I here for? Like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah, what am I here for? Got it.
And they're just like, oh, so whoever gets, like, as long as you all make it to the end, you get $50,000. One person gets $50,000. Wow. So they're like, oh, okay, $50,000. But then, if someone decides to leave, that takes $5,000 away from the pot.
Oh, so every time somebody leaves. But they're selfish enough that they won't care that it's taking money away from other people, would they? They're like, I'm not going to be here. What do I care if they lose 5,000,
Some
10,000?
of them are. Some of them are. The ones that I did not like are definitely like that. But then what they do is to make them keep going is one thing that they do is they have their parents or like a sibling or something like that send them videos.
Keep them engaged.
Keep them engaged and send them like letters and you know, different stuff from home. But yeah, Snowflake Mountain, Netflix. Check it out.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, what you got?
So I watched on 2020, ABC's 2020 TV show, something called it looked like it said True Love, and then they slashed through the love and put lies underneath it. So it was a show called True Lies. And it's the story of Benita Alexander and Paolo Macchiarini. I think I said that right. It'll be Benita. Yeah, and Paolo. Maybe I'll just say that going forward. So Benita was working for ABC News, actually, as a broadcaster, and she was responsible she was an award-winning TV producer, and she was supposed to go to do a documentary on Paolo, right? And so she travels because he's all over the world doing things. He's at, the Chicago, maybe Cyanide or whatever, and he's out in Switzerland hospitals, and he's up for different awards for his groundbreaking technology of replacing tracheas. So what it is he would make maybe like almost a plastic trachea, cover it in that person's stem cells, make it grow its own skin, and then put it inside the person so that they could then have a trachea that could work for them. So all these wonderful accolades, writings, whatever the case may be. So she was going to watch him with this particular story of this young girl who was getting that organ done because she wasn't born with a trachea. And so she had to have tubes and different things. So she traveled to Illinois to see this Korean toddler and to do the story. And, this guy, Paolo, was worldwide sought after for his technology and what he could actually, bring to the table to different families. And so as she's going through and doing her journalistic, documentary on him, she finds out her ex-husband has cancer. So she is, trying to figure out, how do I navigate me getting this documentary done, me being away from home, my daughter needing to tell her dad's dying of cancer, the husband going through brain cancer. Like, it was just this whole thing. And Paolo was there for her the whole time. He's, taking her to dinner, comforting her, telling her she has to figure out her own way of saying goodbye to her husband.
So he's trying to get with her. That's what it sounds like to me.
It sounds like it to me, too. So as the thing goes on, she realized after he took her on his bicycle and took her to a place, because the husband's or ex-husband's favorite flower, she got it. She put it on this river. She kind of said goodbye and cried, and Paolo was there. She could cry on his shoulder. And she was like, oh, my gosh, I'm starting to fall in love with this guy.
Well, he knew what he was doing.
Even though, look, because it's all them terminologies I used earlier.
He was trying to like sneak up from the friend zone. That's what he was trying to do.
And so what ends up happening is that she's like, okay, my journalistic responsibility is I can't like this guy because I have to do a documentary on him. Like, I have to specifically speak to who he is and unbiased, but I'm starting to fall for him. So she realized, she kind of says later, did I put my journalistic responsibilities on the line by continuing on and pursuing a relationship with him? Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
So basically, next thing you know, he love bombed her.
Oh, God.
Quote unquote, by sweeping her away to Italy. And they're in Rome. They're taking a boat to Venice. They're just all in love and all this kind of stuff. And the next thing you know, he's proposing and giving her a ring. And it's like,
How long does it take
while
to make
they were
a
there,
documentary?
but
How long
it's
is it?
throughout the whole show. All this stuff happens.
So it's not just the documentary part. So it just keeps going after the documentary and stuff like that.
Yeah, but some of the stuff is happening while the documentary is taking place, and she shouldn't be
while
doing
she was
that.
doing the documentary.
I didn't get that part was clarified.
Okay,
as
yeah,
much,
because that's what I was wondering if
they
that was a
weren't
thing.
seeming to try to keep things quiet and stuff because he was definitely recording her in videos. This is my love, and we're riding over to Venice, and they're in gondolas, and they're just doing all and eating.
I bet you that was the best documentary that he could ever get made for him.
I don't know, rose petals all over the floor and the bed and hearts and all this kind of stuff. And so, long story short, he proposes and they're like, oh, okay, great, let's plan this wedding. And she almost wasn't even as involved in her own wedding planning as he was. And he was like, oh, we're going to have, because he was world renowned. He's this famous doctor. He has money.
He can
He
go
can do
anywhere
whatever
and do
he
what he
wants to do. He knows the Clintons. He knows the Obamas. He's the Pope's personal physician, like all these things, right? So he's like, the Pope has agreed to marry us. And she was like, wait, what? The Pope doesn't marry divorced people, because she had been divorced. Her ex-husband had passed away. He had been married he was married when she met him. So that was a little bit of a glitch, but he said he got that taken care of and he's now divorced. And so she was like, okay, that's interesting. And so, but he was like, yeah, he said he was making an exception. And oh, by the way, even though the Pope doesn't agree to, gay people taking communion, he has agreed in this instance that your cousin who's helping you with your wedding dress and owns the shop and everything can take communion at our wedding too. So he's, okay with all of that. And she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. So
is she Catholic? Was she Catholic?
He's Catholic. Okay. She wasn't Catholic, but she knew the Catholic Church didn't allow for certain things.
I just didn't know if she was.
Yep. So then he's like, all right, and then once we get married, you and your daughter can move over to Barcelona with me because my main home is in Barcelona, so that'll be perfect. Oh, by the way, the Clintons are coming to our wedding. I got John Legend to sing. Like, it's all these things are coming together beautifully. But what ends up happening is all of her friends are in this 2020 special, and they're like, it was like Meghan Markle and Harry getting married again. Like, it was, she had to have 4 gown changes. They were learning a dance.
They actually got married.
Well, I'm getting to that. This is like them talking about preparing for the wedding. So she had to have 4 gown changes for the wedding. He ended up, they were learning how to dance so they could do a dance at the wedding. The cousin was so excited because he was Catholic and would be able to take communion. So he had tears in his eyes, just so excited that was going to happen. They said that the wedding invitation came in this beautiful box. Big, beautiful, like it was just the biggest, like unfolding, gold laminated, like,
and no one leaked where it was.
And nobody leaked where it was, like on the Real Housewives. And so they were like, oh, this is amazing. And so what ended up happening is that the bride, right before, like maybe, I don't know, a few weeks before the wedding, all of his research about the throat and trach surgery started coming into question. It was, is it really legitimately happening? 2 of the 3 people that he's given it, 3 of the 4 people that he's given to didn't survive.
Well, that's why it's called practicing medicine, right?
That's true. But he was, from what they came out in the articles right before the wedding, was that he was lying and he was fibbing on all of his research.
Oh, like the
and
dropout
saying
girl.
That it actually was successful, that this was the clinical trials and these were the rates and this and that. But all of that wasn't true. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, some people started whistleblowing and saying, you know what, I was a part of that process and I don't remember those numbers. I don't remember that documentation, whatever. So then he kept telling her, look, forget about it. Don't pay attention to it. It's all lies. Like, I legitimately did all these things and I helped so many people, and people, some people might pass away, but the bigger picture is that it can help so many people too. And so she was just like, okay, all right, if you say so. And then all of a sudden she gets a notification that tells her the Pope isn't going to be at her wedding. The Pope is in South America during the week of their wedding.
Yeah.
And guess what? John Legend's not going to be there either. The Obamas don't know anything about it. The Clintons don't know anything about it. And she's like, what in the world is going on? And he started becoming more and more like, not answering her texts and stuff. He's doing that. He's still following up. Hey, babe, sorry, I'm over here in Switzerland, got stuff going on, it's really busy. But then all of a sudden she was like, you know what? I'm going to fly over there because he says he has a home in Barcelona. I'm supposed to be moving into next week after our wedding.
With my child.
With my child. Already pulled her out of school. Already quit my job because I'm trying to pull everything together to move to Barcelona. And she goes there. He's there with another woman in the yard.
Oh, he's already married.
He was already married, remember before? But he said he had gotten a divorce.
But he hadn't.
And that's why the Pope was going to give them communion and marry them as two divorced people. But this wasn't even the wife.
Yeah.
This was another woman that he was going through this whole process with.
Okay.
So this man basically was
trying to be a womanizer,
but swindling everybody, swindling the medical community, swindling women, like, and not for money, but just like love bombing people to the point that they want to be with him. He's picking and choosing when he's going to be with her, saying, "Oh, I got to fly to Switzerland for a surgery," but actually he was just getting us to somewhere else to be with this other woman, and then probably telling that other woman, "Oh, I have to go to America because I got these people in the trach, study, so I got to check on them." So he was just doing a whole bunch of shady and shisty things, and in the end, of course, she said she let him have it, went off, told him how much of a liar and a cheat he was. People have died because of you. She was so, she just felt stupid because she's I was getting ready to give up my whole life for this guy. And he did it for a while. He carried this on.
Love is blind,
forever. And she said she just didn't see the signs. But now she is like, I want him to go to court. I want him to be held accountable. I want him to look in the face of these families that he's destroyed and me.
Absolutely.
And realize that, what he's done. Yeah. And so, but he's a narcissist, so he probably it won't impact him the way. But it was just very intriguing to me to watch that story of this guy. And I wasn't putting it together that it kind of fell in line with what I was talking about from the dating terms. Yeah. But so many of those, he was gaslighting her. He was he was making her feel like, why are you questioning me? Why are you, I told you that the Pope is going to do this. And everybody in your friend group is telling you that he's not. Are you going to believe them or are you going to believe me? And the whole time he was lying. And the closer the wedding got, the more anxious he got and the more stressed he was. But he was saying it was because of medical things that were coming out about him. But in reality, he didn't have any of the stuff together. They didn't even have the wedding location booked that she thought the wedding was happening in. So anyway, it was just the craziest story. But
so what was he going to do? What was he going to do?
Oh, if she hadn't just snuck up on him.
What was he going to be? Oh, we have to push the wedding back because now I have to go to do this. And,
probably. It's too much heat. It's too much information out there about me right now. So let's just go ahead and blow this off.
Why is it that there are so many people who are out here doing stuff like this? So we had the guy,
the Tinder swindler.
We had the dropout lady.
Yep.
Who else was it?
We had Inventing Anna. Yeah, just going out there trying to just, I wish people would use it for good instead of use it for evil. How much would the world change if people who were using their brain power to come up with ways to take advantage of people instead would come up with ways to help people?
Oh, yeah.
It would just be a much better world to live in. But anyway.
But
All right. So
we're in this ghetto.
What you got, sis? This will be the last one, and then we will wrap it up.
This one is this one's gonna be quick. All right.
Oh, okay.
so get this. Boom. Okay. So there's a girl on TikTok.
Okay.
Say a woman on TikTok. Her name is I am legally hype.
Okay. Never heard of her.
She explains the news in layman's terms, but in the same way you be talking to somebody on the side of the street.
Okay.
Yo, for real, look, let me tell you what happened though.
Okay, got it.
So she's like, yo, Big Papa P, and then she'll have on the top Putin. Big Papa P, he think that he know what he doing. But Yuki over here, and then talking about Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? So she be making up stuff. And she is so good. And she starts it off with, okay, boom.
That's how she start off
every time. So she's in law school. She's a law student.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you look at her up, I am legally hype on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
But the way that she just talks about the news and just like, I look at it, I'm like, man, that's what's happening in the world. Like I can understand it.
Yeah.
Because it's not in like if someone trying to explain to me Brexit, I'll be like, look, explain to me Brexit, all right? You gotta explain to me like she would. She'd be like, okay, look, boom, like, see, this is what's happening. They trying to split up from here, so then this is what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
And then they got to come up with their own money.
Yeah.
They got to do that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like the easiest. She just explains the stuff so well.
Okay.
I'm so enthralled with the news and everything that's happening in the world that it's because of this woman.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean,
so you can just follow her every day and know what's happening in the world when you're not going to watch the news. And most people who are younger or on TikTok or whatever aren't doing that.
She'll post every time that some news break or something like that comes up. I wait for her to post about monkeypox because they were talking about that earlier today. There was something that was put out probably around maybe 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock this morning.
Oh, really?
That was talking about how it's going to be like another pandemic, I guess. I'm not looking forward to being locked in no more.
Yeah, I don't know if people would allow themselves to be locked in again. I mean, I think that it was, I'll put it this way, with COVID, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Initially, when it came to the lockdown, I think people were not excited about it, but like, I don't have to physically go into work. I can stay home. I can have groceries delivered. Like, this is such a kind of like, not
people
realizing it, but having some anxiety around it, but also like, I don't have to be around people. I don't have to always be up. I can just decompress. I can be myself. And you hear famous people talk about that a lot too during the lockdown. Like they like the fact that they could just chill and be relaxed and wear a mask and nobody would know who they were and all those kind of things.
That's my thing about, I would never want to be famous. I would want to be rich. Because if I'm famous, I don't want to just walk out my door and there's like paparazzi there or people just play, hey D. I don't.
Pictures D. Let me take a picture with you.
Because I would be the person who would like end up punching the camera guy because there'd be too much in my face. I'm like, because
it's too overwhelming.
It's too overwhelming, and I wouldn't want to do that. But I mean, at some point in time, when you have so many people around you, and it's constantly on you, you're gonna break.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's gonna happen, and they're looking forward to it because guess what? That gets them more money.
Absolutely,
when you do break. So, but I think everybody looked for a little reprieve initially, and then once everything started to open up, everybody was like, "Oh, I need things to get back to normal. I need normalcy." And now that we're back to normal, I don't think anyone would be thrilled about, like, I think it would be more people who would be like up in arms about having to stay in their house again.
Yeah, but this is the thing. If it's something like, I feel like if there's a disease that's going around killing people in mass numbers, I understand
monkeypox isn't killing people, right? It's just making them very sick and blistering up and like.
Oh, so it's not killing people because they made it like a health emergency.
Yeah, I think what it is, and I understand that it's happening, unfortunately, more, at least from what I've seen on almost all of the news broadcasts about it, in the male community, potentially gay male community, because it has to do with skin-to-skin contact for you to get monkeypox. And so I think...
It says with sexual transmitted fastest, right? Something like that?
But it's not... In other countries, it hasn't been a quote-unquote sexually transmitted disease. It's just been a skin-to-skin or contact-to-contact disease, which I think is probably the case anyway. It's just that, like some other things, just depending on where you are and what you're doing, then you're getting the exposure to the potential disease.
So it's like the new chickenpox.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, like if you think of it as they say monkeypox,
mutated chickenpox,
because it's like kids in school, they don't have contact to contact and get chickenpox. So maybe that is a way to look at it. But it's like, who are you around and what kind of activities? Hugging somebody, that in itself could potentially be something that could give it to somebody. So it may be not necessarily going back into a quarantine as much as it could be possibly going to like not touching. You know what I mean? We used to hug, then we stopped hugging because of, COVID. So maybe we'll just stop hugging because of monkeypox.
So everybody needs a bubble.
I don't know if we need
a bubble. You got to walk around like, what's his name, Jude Law did in that movie when, what was it, The Happening or something like that? No, it was Contagion.
Oh, Contagion. I do remember Contagion. Like but I don't know what the answer is, but hopefully they can contain the spread to that or come up with something that people can take. pill form
Maybe.
or something like that
something.
to make it so that people don't necessarily have any issues from monkeypox, because I think everybody is done with viruses. Period.
Absolutely.
Point blank.
Absolutely.
Done. So on that note, thank you all so much for joining us for
Sestra-Tainment.
We'll talk to you all next week.
Maybe I'll bring up
time.
monkeypox next week.
We'll see where the
We'll see what happens.
monkeypox epidemic has landed at that point. And I'll have more great dating terminology to share as well. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.